Things just got worse and worse and worse as the night went on. Again, valiant effort down the stretch for the Bucks. Just too little, too late. Let's go down and let's see what Coach Fletch and the rest of the crew has to say. And as always, go Bulls. So let's head into the locker room right now and see what the guys have to say about that one. Wow. Where do the Buccaneers go from here? What an incredible atmosphere. What a good win for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They snapped a 7-game winning streak. How we feeling, Bucs Nation? It's time to party, baby.
What is going on, everybody? Wow. Unbelievable, man. The final show of 2029, and you can see it right there at the bottom of the screen, right here, the top 20 sports stars of Tampa Bay in 2025. It's what we do at the end of every year. God, man, I'm just so incredibly humbled and happy to be here today with you guys. This is show number 210. 210. Can you believe it? I honestly didn't know what was going to happen after I left WDAE. All I know is that I wanted to continue to talk sports here in the Tampa Bay area, and I really wasn't sure if this was going to work out. But I just knew that if I was going to work my ass off and I was going to continue to go to games, that good things are going to happen. And the support that I've gotten, I mean, look at DT already with the $20 super chat. Dave Terry, even though you're a Liverpool fan, David, man, I can't thank you so much, man. I can't thank you enough for the love and the support. You and meeting your lovely wife, you guys are the best. And thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Benny, you've been here, buddy. Thank you so much, Benny, for all the love and support. Bart Hill, you've been with me back to my DAE days, and Eric Moreno as well. Eric, I was thinking about you this morning, brother, because I wanted to start the show today. And again, we'll have a bunch of guests, and we're going to go through the top 20. But I wanted to start the show today with a happy birthday wish to my Uncle Wally. And my Uncle Wally is more than just my uncle and more than just my godfather. This is a guy that's been in my corner since day one. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here in Tampa. I wouldn't have stayed here. He's the one that found me a job at Frozen Ropes at the baseball facility and changed my life. And he's always been there for me, man. And you always hear like it takes a village, and my mom and dad are just like the two greatest people ever. You know, I long to find a love like they have. And I just live every day to try to make them proud because they are the two greatest human beings I've ever met in my life. But it's, you can't do it by yourself. And my Uncle Wally has always been there for me. Always. I was the best man at his wedding. And he's just such a great guy. And, we have our, we butt heads sometimes, but I think that's because we're a lot alike. But he's just like my dad in the way of always trying to look at things from a different perspective. Don't just fall in line and do what everybody else does. Just think outside the box a little bit, change your point of view just ever so slightly. So you're not just doing what everybody else is doing. So I love you, Uncle Wal, and happy birthday to you. I can't wait, man. This is the last show of the year. Cannot wait to go home. If anything, like watching the Raise the Flags documentary for the Buccaneers, it's just, you realize how like life is fleeting and it's so short, and you want to be able to celebrate the times that you have with your loved ones. And I can't wait to go home all the time just to see my brother and my sisters, my mom and dad, my grandma, my 6 nieces and nephew. My guy Rio is going to be 1 year old on Christmas Day, and to see his sister Rylan, how great of a big sister she is, and to see how Harper's 3 years old, and she's just, man, she is smart as a whip, and she's trying to kick my butt in video games. And my nephew Lawson playing hockey, and growing and finding his love for the sport again. And then Sydney and Savannah, my sister Emily's kids, like those two little girls, they're going to be running the world one day. So, yeah, can't wait to see everybody at home. I leave on Sunday. I'll be back in a couple of weeks, but I just wanted to thank everybody for all the love and all the support. Thank you so much. I see Janet Best with the $20 super chat as well. Thank you. That's how we're going to keep this show rolling. Merry Christmas to Jay and the crew. I thank you for all you've brought us this year. I know your family is proud of you and you deserve all the support you can get. Janet, you are the best. Thank you so much for you and David Terry with the $20 super chats. You guys are the best. And thank you to Bart Hill. And, of course, thank you to our partners, Honest Hammer Custom Builders, LLC, and Ever Health, our first ever partner, my pal Russ Hammer. He's the best, man. He really is. Thank you so much for all that you've done to help me out. And then Ever Health, our Ever Health injury report every Thursday at 12:30 with Dr. Carlos Rodriguez has been just an absolute godsend. What an amazing human being he is. Just awesome, man. Awesome. All right. So today, the top 20 sports stars of Team Tampa Bay in 2025. Listen, we got special guests coming up who made the list, who didn't make the list. Honorable mention. Man, this is a good one. And this is the tightest race that we have ever had. The tightest race ever. And this is year 8 that we've been doing this. Wow. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. This was something that I did like on a Facebook Live at WDAE. And then when I was a producer, then when I was a host, and then we've done it the last 2 years right here on the Recher podcast. And this has been a lot of fun. And we're going to continue to do it because we have a ton of fun here on, on the program. And we're going to start, we're going to get right into it. Number 20 on the list. And that is Mr. Jake Gensel. And it's pretty cool because this is the first time that he's been on the list, first time in the rankings. But when you have a guy like Jake Gensel and you bring him in, wow, what an impact that he has had on this Tampa Bay Lightning team. Some people will look at him as like, oh, okay, he's a guy that's taken over for Steven Stamkos. I don't necessarily look at it like that, but wow, what a solid player all the way around. He's a 200-foot guy. He wins. He's so much better. I knew he was a good player, but I think he's so much better than I thought he was. And this was a guy that played with Sidney Crosby. So it's you got to be that good, right? But he's just so freaking consistent. He can play center. He can play wing. He can win faceoffs. Like, this is a guy that scores big goals. He's going to represent Team USA in the Olympics. I really, really like Jake Gensel. He's very quiet. He's a guy that doesn't talk very much. But man, he's a guy that when you just watch him on the ice, it doesn't seem like he ever makes a mistake. And you can see why a guy like Sidney Crosby loved to play with him for as long as he did. So Jake Gensel making his first foray onto the list, top 20 sports stars of Tampa Bay in 2025. Jake Gensel coming in at number 20. And the great thing about our list is because I pull so many different people in the Tampa Bay area. I pull a lot of different media members, TV, radio, guys that cover one sport, guys that cover multiple sports, guys that were covering sports here in Tampa that don't anymore, guys like Chris Torello. It's really, really nice to be able to like get all the different versions and all the different like points of views and perspectives from people here in the Tampa Bay area. But yeah, we're coming in on number 20. Jake Gensel definitely deserves that. I see another super chat in here. $5 from our guy, Victor Boucher, Bobby Boucher's brother. Happy holidays, Jay. Enjoy the family time and safe travels. Thank you. Thank you so much, Victor. And I tell everybody that, man, use this time of the year to be able to go out there and spend time with your family. And even if you're estranged with some of the people in your life, now's the time to kind of make up for it. Now's the time to kind of put things behind you. And if there's anything we've learned over the last 12 months, is life is short, man. Life is short. Drop those grudges. Reconcile. You never know, man. You really never know. We are on the race for 2,000 subscribers. We're getting closer. We're about 55, I think, away. I need help, guys. Whatever you can do, share this on your social media platforms. And yeah, it'd be great to get to 2,000. Because if I don't, my nephew Lawson is going to give me a bunch of grief. So we got to do that. We got to make sure that we can get to 2,000 subscribers. So even though this is the last show of the year, I'm definitely going to be asking for subscribers over the next couple of weeks so we can get to 2,000. So I can show Lawson before New Year's Day. All right. We continue the top 20 sports stars in Tampa Bay. This one was interesting to me. Stu Sternberg coming in at number 19. Now, listen, when we do these sports stars, it's not just players. It could be front office members. It could be coaches. You guys have seen this before. And it's interesting with Stu because last year he came in at number 17. And now that it's over and we're moving on to a different ownership group, I don't think his legacy is complete. Because I don't know if we really understand what his legacy is until we get 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years down the road. Like, what happens if someday, unfortunately, if the Rays, like if these next owners or maybe owners after that move the Rays out of town? Then we might look back on at Stu like, well, damn, bro, he did whatever he could to keep them here, even come up with that terrible idea to split the season with Montreal. But we can't be lost in the fact that Stu, and I know a lot of people that worked for Stu or had so many nice things to say about him. Remember the article that John Romano wrote for the Tampa Bay Times? I don't know. Like I'm not one of those people. I didn't work for Stu directly, so I can't really give you that. I think it could have been different. I had some great conversations. I am so grateful that Stu gave me time to discuss a lot of different things over the years. At FanFest multiple times to be able to interview with him. And whether you liked his answers or you didn't, I mean, for the most part, he was pretty transparent with what he said, even if you didn't agree with him. And I think that's one thing I think a lot of people appreciate about Stu is even if they didn't agree with his modes or his methods, at least he was kind of telling you them and he wasn't saying one thing and kind of doing another. I have been on the record for a while saying that I did not really appreciate when he's talking about complaints about his P&L statement when you're going to sell the team eventually one day for over $1 billion. Like, I don't think that is, people don't want to hear that kind of stuff, but I wish Stu all the best, man. I really do. Cause he did care about this team, even though he went about it in a way that I don't think a lot of people agreed with, but I think it's the right thing. It's time. Just like I said about USF yesterday, it is time to move on. I say the same thing about Stu Sternberg as well. Time to move on. Best of luck in your future endeavors. And it'll be interesting to see where Stu pops up next. Does anyone answer questions? Does anyone know if the NHL roster freeze is for trades or does it impact call-ups too? I think everything. Everything freezes. So I think that goes for trades, free agents, whatever. Tony, don't know who 2 or 20 are, but number 1 should clearly be Chris Braswell. I see you, Tony. Bart Hill, shout-outs for your Uncle Wally and happy birthday. Drew, our guy Dolan, happy for you, dude. New York bound, jealous. Come on by whenever you want. Dolan again, what's up, all? Been super busy this week. Couldn't miss our good brother Jay's last show. Correct. You got that right, buddy. Rolly. The Bucks documentary is out of the world, mandatory watch. I just finished it last night. Eric, if you want to call in, you certainly can, buddy. We just got to be quick because we got other guests coming on. There's the link in the chat. I finished the Bucks documentary last night. Unbelievable, man. Unfreaking believable. There is the link if you want to hop on StreamYard.com/XPHYE9IKVP. Tony, love the show, Jay-Bird. Keep doing your thing. Thank you, Tony. I couldn't do it without people like yourself. Man, I had to watch it last night. I had to watch that last one because I was 9 episodes in. I kept telling everybody, I got 9. I got to watch the 10th. And it was great to see Tom Brady. I thought it was a little weird how it ended. It just kind of ended with Baker Mayfield. Really wasn't, I'm not spoiling anything for anybody, but so freaking well done. Just such a great idea. And I hope they do it for the Lightning too. That's all I kept thinking about. Shout out to our guy, Eddie, $5 super chat. Jay, you the man these last few months. I've been watching as a new member. Safe travels and happy holidays to you, the fam, and the chat. Eddie, thank you so much, buddy. You have been around for a while. Jeff Taylor, my guy. Appreciate you. You are the best, Jeff. You will be getting a shirt. I haven't gotten with the guys, and once we got too late, I didn't want to do that thing over the phone. So in 2026, we will have the Jay Recher podcast merch with the Wrecking Crew on the back. I'm not buying anybody's shirts. I'm not giving them away because I need to make money. But the one person that I will buy a shirt for is Jeff Taylor because he's been staying on me forever. And shout out to our guy Honest Hammer. Sub Jay and crew. Happy holidays and safe travels to everyone in the crew. I told you, my guys over at Honest Hammer. Russ is the best. 813-244-0956 for all your residential and commercial needs. He is the man. I just mentioned the crew and the unbelievable Raise the Flags documentary, and a guy that was a big part of it. And this gentleman always gets votes for our top 20 sports stars of Tampa Bay. But this year, he finally made the top 20. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, the Hall of Famer Derek Brooks. Now, when you look at DB, you have some nostalgic votes here. You get Rondé certain times. You get, Tony Dungy, Joe Madden. We've seen some different things. But now, because Derek Brooks is part of USF with our guy Rob Higgins, I have a funny feeling he's going to be on this list many, many times. And Derek's, when you think about it, double nickel, and just watching the impact that he had in the Tampa Bay area. If you missed the conversation with Derek when he took the job at USF, we had him here on the program. And one thing I mentioned to Derek was it seems like, and we talked about this with Ian before that because we had him on a Monday. And I said, Derek, it just seems like you're kind of following in the footsteps of a guy like Leroy Selman. Leroy paved the way for guys like you to make an impact in our community. He goes, Jay, you're 100% right. The impact of Leroy Selman, what he was able to do here on, but more importantly, off the field. And then to have a guy like Tony Dungy come here. And I know Tony didn't win the Super Bowl, and you can have that argument to the cows come home, whether it was Tony's team, whether it was, whether it was John Gruden's team, whatever. But the one thing that you can't deny is that when Tony Dungy came here, he put an onus on the players to make an impact in Tampa Bay. And I remember Martin Gramatica visiting us in studio one time, and he said that was something that Tony said, we have to represent our community. These guys took it to heart. The impact that Derek Brooks is going to have is going to be felt far beyond any of us living here in the Tampa Bay area. It's insane. And he's a guy that I think he's always been very supportive of USF. Obviously, his daughter, Dania, who we've had on the show, a standout on the softball team. But now that he's an official member, he's officially with USF, right? It's, we know he's a Florida State grad and a Buccaneer for life and a Hall of Famer, but he's a USF guy now, man, green and gold. But yeah, just one of the best, that is for sure. Let's bring in our guy, Eric Moreno, real fast. What's going on, E? How are you, buddy?
I don't know if you heard, but they're talking about Brandon Lau going to the Pirates in a 3-team trade. Astros raising the Pirates, Braves getting back Jacob Melton and a reliever.
Oh, all right. Interesting. Breaking news.
I don't know. I mean, I like Brandon Lau. I mean, I don't know, if they're in serious talks, but
right.
Maybe fall through. But hey, big Bucks game. We got to win. I think Mike Evans is going to go 8 catches, 2 tutties, and 132 yards.
132, just like last week. I'm hoping he goes for 220.
And a pick 6 from JPP if he plays.
Oh, wow. Okay. Eric, I wanted to say Merry Christmas to you and yours, man, and I appreciate all the support this year. I'm glad that we could all be there for you through some tough times, pal.
Thank you, man. It's about to be a year, man. Just seems like yesterday I was with them, man. Just, just gotta, cherish memories and just hang in there, man.
You got that right. Well, we're here for you, buddy. Whatever you need, just keep tuning in and call in whenever you want. We'll talk soon, buddy. Have a good Christmas.
All right, Merry Christmas, Jay. Have a good holiday.
You too, pal. E-Money in the house, as our guy Benny calls him. Eric Moreno, that's what it's all about. When you're going through some tough times, buddy, you got to lean on your friends, lean on your family. And Eric unfortunately lost his dad, and he came on the show with us, and just being able to talk about the Buccaneers all year long for a big-time sports fan like that, I know it's made a big impact on his life. So for everybody else that always sends over some good vibes for Eric, we appreciate that very, very much. Buccaneers, big match this weekend, big game on Sunday against the Carolina Panthers. This is Team Tampa Bay. This is Champa Bay. And hopefully, better late than never. If they can win the last 3 games, focus on those last 3 games of the season, you never know. Good things can happen. All right, let's get back to the list. This guy has made the list multiple times. And in my mind, I said this a couple of months ago, or actually a couple of weeks ago now. He's the best coach that Tampa has ever seen at any level. High school, college, and professional, coming in at number 17 on the list. Our good pal, Joe Urso. And you know what? Instead of just the wonderful picture that we have there, let's bring Joe on. He's here with us on the show. What's going on, brother? How are you?
How you doing, Jay? Doing great.
I'm good, pal. Look at that. You got the 10 shirt on?
You better believe it. You give me an honor like this, I'm coming ready.
My guy, Joe, you've made the list multiple times. Top 20 sports stars in Tampa Bay, where I poll anywhere between 35 to 40 sports writers, sports media members in the Tampa Bay area. You've joined, I think you joined us last year as well. What does it mean to be, alongside guys like Derek Brooks and Nikita Kucherov and Mike Evans?
I mean, come on. It's just amazing to even be in a category like that. But, most importantly, it validates the direction I took my career. And I've told everyone I have one of the best jobs in the country, period. I don't care if it's Division I, Division II. It's one of the best jobs in the country, period. And I'm just so proud of what we've been able to accomplish and excited to be recognized, in your top 20 again. It shows that my direction was accurate. And this was home from day one. And to be able to stay here all these years, going on year 26, means a lot to me and my family.
Yeah, and what was it like to see JD the other night firing off the Tesla coils?
Yeah, I know. I joked with Coach Sam, we won 10 titles. We don't get to do that. And he joins Banana Bowl with the Loco Beach Coconuts, and he gets up there immediately. But very cool experience for JD and the family. We all got to go there and enjoy him.
Coach, I keep it right next to me for every show just so I can brag about it. My ring. Thank you so much, buddy. This means the world to me. You've won. I mean, the UT's won 10. You've had your fair share of them, but this one really was. I mean, we spoke right after it. We spoke during it. I mean, when you look back on it now, after the ring ceremony, after, winning it, now that you have a new team, like looking back on that time and that game and JD catching the final out, I mean, it seems surreal, man, because I feel like if we close our eyes, it was like yesterday.
Yeah, and you earned that ring, by the way, since you mentored
you,
so many of these kids and coached them at a young age. But yeah, to look back, we get to go back and watch the video. Me and my wife just sit back, and now that we know the results, we watch it, and I still cannot believe that semifinal game. Down 5-0 in the 8th, and then down 5-1 in the 9th, and then here comes the 3-run shot to tie it. And like, Jordan Williams said, it's like a story in a backyard playing wiffle ball that you only can dream of. But,
right.
What team can overcome 8 elimination games in 2 weeks? It's not supposed to happen in sports. And definitely what we were able to overcome and the mountain we had to climb to get to the top. It was the most rewarding championship I've ever had. Yes, JD was on it, so that makes it the most special, and I get it. But the best part of the story was the whole team coming together and overcoming so much adversity.
Yeah, and it was one of the greatest moments of my life, man. It just that whole just couple of days of not knowing whether I was going to go and then going and then showing up, and you guys won, and Kevin Karstetter, it just. That's what they make movies of. When they make the movie of your life, like that's got to be, or they make the movie of my life, like that's going to be in there, man. And that's the great thing about sports is that you just never know what's going to happen, right? Like I think back to the game here with Mississippi College when you're down by all those runs at home, and I'm sitting there and losing my voice, and we go to Belmar after to eat, and we're like, can we believe that just happened? Like that's why baseball's the greatest, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah, and there's no time clock, and that's the best. You play to the end, and we preach winning the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning here, and we did that with the best of them. And when it mattered most, with our backs against the wall, down late, we never panicked. And it was we had a veteran group, a lot of leadership, from JD and Nico and Woody. I mean, you name it. It's just leadership of we're not giving up. We're not giving up to that last out, and guys that just left it all on the field. CJ Williams, our pitcher of the year, throwing in 3 of the last 4 games. He just wanted the ball over and over again. And it was just the most special group of guys. And I think every coach says that when you win it, but being part of back-to-back and getting to look back and see what we overcame, it will be one of the best groups I've ever been around.
No doubt about it. And you are the best coach that I've ever been around. And I consider you a good friend and like a big brother. And I can't thank you enough for all the mentorship and the friendship. And happy holidays, my friend. Merry Christmas. Give my love to Julie and JD and Preston and everybody. And congratulations once again. And I leave for New York on Sunday, but when I get back, we'll get together and we'll start the trek for 11, my friend. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for this honor.
You got it, pal. The one and only Joe Urso, the best, man. Love that guy, the whole family. Like I said, to start the show, it takes a village, man. And Joe's one of those guys, right? He believed in me. I said this during the ring ceremony this year. Joe believing in me as a young coach, he didn't have to do that, but he believed in me and he believed in my talents and he saw that I cared. And that's all you need, man. That's all you need as a young guy, as a young professional. You need just one person to believe in you and just your confidence level. And you just like, I'm on the right track. I'm on the right track. You never know the kind of impact that you have. And, the friendship and the bond that I've built with the Urso family and UT as a whole, it's just, I wouldn't trade it for the world. And that's another, when people say, don't you wish you got into radio at 18 instead of 28? I go, no, not at all. Because if I would have got into radio at 18, I would have never coached baseball. I would have never met Ursos. I would have never met Russos. I would have never met Saladinos and Gutchers and all these different names and all these people that helped shape my life. Like, everything happens for a reason. Everybody's path is different. And people ask me about like Joe all the time. And I go, Joe's an even better person and a better dad and a better father and he's better, all that better than a coach. And he's the best coach in Tampa that we've ever seen. So think about that, man. When you see people like that, I'm trying to do a much better job of that as I get older. Is like, man, notice your value, notice your worth, notice who you're around, and keep those people close. Don't let little minuscule bullshit kind of separate you from the people that really care about you. Sometimes you argue and you fight with the people that are the closest to and that you're the most alike. You have to recognize that. Surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with people that are positive and optimistic, that are always looking out for the best interests of yourself and the people around them. Don't surround yourself with people that talk smack about others, because if they're talking smack about others in your presence, what are they saying about you when you're not around? Like, surround yourself with people like Joe Urso, like Julie Urso, like JD and Preston, like Sammy Militello and Jose and the whole crew. Those are the kind of people, not just because they're winners on the baseball field, because they're great people and they're winners off the field. That is the most important thing. So, Joe, I love you. Thank you, buddy. You are the best. Joe and Julie Urso. Joe Urso coming in at number 17 on the list. Last year, 14. Back in 22, he was number 20. All right, let's get to the number 16 on the list, and that is Buccaneers are running back Bucky Irving. No, not you, Joe. Bucky Irving. I got to messed up the graphic there. And look at Bucky. I mean, last year he came in at number 6. He goes back down to number 16 this year. And for Bucky, I mean, the injuries have certainly hurt him. And that's what I love about this list, because a lot of times it's top of mind. It's, all right, who are we talking about? Who's good at the time? And Bucky last year taking the world by storm. He was unbelievable. And you just remember the fans chanting, Bucky, Bucky, Bucky. And they're still doing it this year too. Don't get me wrong. But it's not the same because he's been banged up. A lot more Rashad White, a lot more Sean Tucker this year. But, and let's not forget, okay? Let's not forget. We need to make sure that Bucky Irving is getting the ball early and often this weekend. I said it before, and I'll say it again. I do not want this whole balance of no, I don't want that. Give me Bucky Irving a lot. I want a lot of Bucky Irving. That's it. I don't want anything else but Bucky Irving, number 7 in the backfield, doing his thing. This is the time of year your best players need to be your best players. And give Bucky the ball, and I hope this is something that Josh Grizzard takes in, and he realizes that the only way that this team is really going to achieve what they're going to achieve is if they lean on their best players, and Bucky is their best guy. So I don't want to hear anything else about the balance and all this other blah, blah, blibbity, blah. No. I want Bucky Irving and I want a heavy dose of him on Sunday against the Carolina Panthers up there in North Carolina. Look, like Eddie's saying, give Irving more than 12, like the Finns did with Achan, and you should be fine. All right, let's get to our honorable mentions. Now, the honorable mentions the last couple of years have been very interesting because some of those guys have gone to the honorable mention list and then gone, never see him again. Some of the other guys, and let's see if we can put an honorable mention tag on here. 1 second. Ding, ding, ding. Banner. Honorable mentions. Yeah, but then it cuts off the Team Tampa Bay thing. Classic. We don't want that. Minimal. There we go. That'll work, right? Honorable mentions. I'll take it. Block. How about block? Minimal. Let's do minimal. All right. Honorable mentions this year. First one is Brandon Lau, and we're still waiting to see if there's any word on him moving. I wouldn't be surprised if they moved on from Brandon Lau, but this is a guy that has been so freaking good for the Tampa Bay Rays when he's healthy. This is that Ken Rosenthal? Is that the really Ken? It is a real Ken. Astros, Pirates, and Rays, and this is from Chandler Rome, Astros beat writer at The Athletic. Astros, Pirates, and Rays, this is 30 minutes ago, are in serious discussion about a trade that would send right-hander Mike Burrows to Houston, infielder Brandon Lau to Pittsburgh, and involve multiple other players. Sources tell Ken Rosenthal. If trade is completed, outfielder Jacob Melton and right-hander Anderson Brito would head to the Rays. That's the number 2 and number 7 prospects for the Houston Astros. So we'll see. We'll see. That'd be kind of ironic that he makes the honorable mention list here as he gets traded. But no surprise. No surprise because Brandon Lau, it looked like they were going to move on from him. This is a guy, unbelievable power. I think he's an underrated defender, but when he's out there and he's healthy, I think he's one of the best second basemen in all of baseball. But the consistency and him staying healthy was absolutely huge, no doubt. Also on the honorable mention list, Andrei Vasilevsky. This is very surprising because Andrei Vasilevsky is one of the, I think, 3 people that have been on this list every single year. Now, honorable mention does count. That means you were 21 through 25. So I still say that counts, but a little surprising that Andrei Vasilevsky, who was number 8 last year, and this is a guy that was in, I believe, the top 12 every single year, has fallen out of the top 20. He is coming in at number 8. Why do you think that is? Why do you think Andrei Vasilevsky is not number 8? He's on honorable mention this year. And maybe the lack of success, maybe some of the difficulties that he's had in the playoffs, maybe some of the injury concerns. It was great to see him back between the pipes last night against the LA Kings. I thought maybe the first goal that Kempe scored he should have had, but other than that, he looked pretty damn sharp. So I don't know. We'll see. I'd be very surprised if he gets back to form and Lightning win a couple of rounds in the playoffs. Andre would probably be back in the top 20 next year. Also, John Cena. John Cena, living in the Tampa Bay area, wrestled his last match last weekend against Gunther. The John Cena retirement tour went on all year long. He turned heel at Elimination Chamber, won the 17th World Championship to pass Ric Flair for number 1 all-time in pro wrestling history. I wrestled so many different people, from Randy Orton to CM Punk to Cody Rhodes multiple times to the guys in the Judgment Day. There was a freaking tournament to see who was going to wrestle him in his last match. John Cena makes the list as an honorable mention. 2 more honorable mentions. Braden Point, Tampa Bay Lightning forward. He came in at number 11 last year, and he's an honorable mention this year. It looks like he's starting to play better, starting to really find his groove. He wasn't 100%, and you can tell. He wasn't firing on all cylinders like we've seen in years past. So don't be surprised if he gets back in there, especially if he has a strong showing for Team Canada in the Olympics. And then finally, our last honorable mention is the late, great Tony Saladino, who we lost earlier this year. So grateful to be able to spend time with Tony there in Cary, North Carolina once again. Joe Urso and I and Coach Mack, we spoke at his celebration of life there at the church there in Brandon. Just the best. And like I've said before, and I'll say to my dying day, like Tony Saladino was the best of us. He really was. Such a profound impact on the Tampa Bay area and to everybody, Cheryl and Tiger and Misty and just everybody in the Saladino family. You guys are the best. Your dad will never be forgotten. Can't wait for the Saladino tournament this year. Go to 813preps.com. Our guy Jared Guthrie, who contributed to our top 20 list. Whatever you can do to help out the Saladino tournament this year, especially, this is the year that you want to do it. So those are our honorable mentions. If you didn't hear some names, they could still be on the list, or they could be missing. And we'll get to our missing before we get to the top 10, but we get back to the list right now. And at number 15 on your list, number 21 in your hearts. No, it's actually number 2. Number 15 on this list, number 2 in your programs, number 1 in your hearts, the great Yandy Diaz. Last year, he was an honorable mention. Back in 2023, he was actually number 5. And Yandy, another slow start this year. A couple years in a row, we started out slow. But when you watch him and the way he goes about his business, this guy is just a hitting machine. It just gets better and better and better as the year goes on. You have to wonder what his future is looking like with the Tampa Bay Rays. And the news coming out that Brandon Lau could be on the move is interesting. What about Yandy? Because you know what's coming out next. You know what's coming up next when it comes to guys at first base. Could he be on the move? I think yes. I don't think that's like out of the realm of possibility to think that Yandy is going to be moving on. Heck of a player, really good hitter. But I think the slow starts has really not only hurt him, but hurt the team over the last couple of years. Him getting off to a fast start, if he's still with the club in 2026, will be paramount. We know Xavier Isaac is there. We know Trey Morgan is there. This is a Tampa Bay Rays team that is morphing and changing. They're not going to be spending a boatload of money. I know there was a lot of people out there that were hoping that he was going to, or just that this team was going to be, spending money, but it's just, that's not going to happen. Not right now. But for a guy like Yandy Diaz, I'm hoping that if he's still here, he gets off to a really, really strong start. Tim Word letting everybody know, everybody go for Sunday. Are you, Tim? I'm a go. And Yandy, if there was one player on the Rays or the Lightning that would suit up for the Bucks on Sunday, Yandy would have to be in the conversation, right? With those freaking muscles, where would you have Yandy? Linebacker? Offensive line? If you could put Yandy Diaz on the Buccaneers on Sunday, what position would you put him in? Pass rush? He can't be worse than Chris Braswell. That's messed up for me to say. But, right, where would you put Yandy? Linebacker? Safety? Imagine him, Tyke Smith, and Antoine Winfield Jr. as 3 safeties. That'd be pretty badass, man. Unbelievable. I always love talking about that, like going on each side, like what player would go here, what team would go here. Oh, man, I just saw the score for the first time. I saw the score last night, but USF women against South Carolina last night, 103-44. Holy smokes. Yikes. South Carolina is a freaking beast. I'm not surprised. Not surprised at all. Man, there seems to be like a lot of news coming out and more about Brandon Lau. Yandy can't run. You're right, Betty. You're right. Yandy, a linebacker, DT. I don't know if that's going to work because like you said, I don't know if he can run. How about Yandy at offensive line? He doesn't have to run as much. Put him at guard. Put him between Tristan Wirfs and Graham Barton at left guard. I think that could work. Those muscles, man, being able to push people back. I don't know. That's a good question for Ian. If you Ian, he's like, he would never be able to play. Like, we get it, Ian. Give me a position. What position would Yandy Diaz, if he's doing all those bench presses and pulls and pushes? I don't think that'd be the worst thing. Guys, again, final show of the year. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. Like and subscribe on YouTube. I will be at the game tomorrow night. Lightning and Hurricanes. It's the last thing I'm doing for work in 2025. So I'll be there. One red shoe on, one green shoe on, bothering Phil Esposito. That is my job. Unbelievable year. Hanging out with Phil last night. It's just 11 years we've been standing in the same spot. And he goes, 11 years? Too long. I'm like, screw you, old man. If you would have applied yourself, you would have scored more than 717 goals, you punk. Yeah, Mike, we just mentioned it. Brandon Lau to Pittsburgh. So listen, we'll wait for the official word, but that's what it seems like. It seems like B. Lau, Yandy Diaz's teammate, he gone. And what does that mean for who's going to be playing second? Do you move Arando over there? We'll see. We shall see. Coming in at number 14. Ooh, boy. You guys ready for this one? Number 14, Alex Golesh. Former USF coach, now Auburn Tigers leading man, Alex Golesh. And I don't know if you guys saw this. I retweeted this on Twitter. Golesh talked about how it sucked and how hard it was for him to watch the bowl game with USF, and now his son was texting him. And I know a lot of people want to go on social media and they want to badmouth Alex Golesh and they want to say all these different things about he didn't care and he just left them. You may not have agreed with his decision, how he did it, but one thing you do know about Alex Golesh is that he did care about those kids. And he did get into a position like the only way that you're going to be able to find success is by working hard and making sure that you're doing everything you can to put people in a position to succeed. Now, did he have his shortcomings? Yes. But you can't tell me that he didn't get those kids to buy in. You can't tell me that he didn't change the culture of USF. And it's tough because you look at it and you want to be upset and you want to feel like a scorned lover a little bit. But when I'm watching that video, it doesn't mean when he says things like that, that he's lying. It doesn't mean that he is being disingenuous. We have to keep things in perspective. Just because we make certain decisions in our life doesn't mean that we don't have feelings as well. He made the decision to move to Auburn because it was the best decision for his family and for his career. Regardless of the way he went about it or the decision itself, it doesn't mean that it completely eliminates the relationships that he had with the guys at USF. It doesn't. And you may disagree, but you just don't like leave and just not have any type of feeling like that was your thing. Like that was your squad. That was your guys. That was obviously part of the consequences. And I don't necessarily feel bad for him, right? I think it's important when you have discussions about this to know the difference between like reasons and excuses, knowing the difference between like when people have a emotion of sadness and it doesn't necessarily like you don't need to feel bad for them, but I thought it was real. Like he understands that he's the person that put him in that situation. Like he gets that. But just because you make a decision for yourself and make a decision that's going to better your life and your family's life, it doesn't mean that there isn't going to be just kind of that after effect, that consequence, that, you know, it's that collateral damage. And that's what you saw when he was in that interview. It was like, damn, man, it'd be a lot easier if you just like look at me. Everybody looks at it and goes, wow, you moved to Florida. That's great. All these great things. You cover all these sports, you coach, blah, blah, blah. But the downside of that is like, I don't get to spend as much time with my family. I don't get to see a lot of my friends. I don't get to see my nieces and nephews grow up and be around for birthdays and holidays and things like that. So you can't just look at, oh, wow, you went to go cover the Stanley Cup and you went to go cover the Super Bowl and everything's all rosy for that decision that you've made. No, I mean, it was the hardest decision I made, but it was the best decision for me. Same thing for Alex Golesh. Was it as tough a decision as it is for me? Maybe not, but it doesn't mean that he doesn't have any type of relationship with the guys back at South Florida. So again, grateful for everything he did. Best of luck at Auburn. He was always good to me, so appreciate you, AG. Big shout out to JG, my guy Jared Guthrie and 813 Preps. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you, my guy Jared Guthrie. I told you guys before, when we were talking about Tony Saladino, the best coverage in our area for prep sports in any sport. He covers baseball, but nobody does prep sports like our guys over at 813 Preps, 813preps.com. Guys, do whatever you can to help out, to give back. These are the kids that deserve it. And with the Tony and Bertha Saladino tournament coming up, find a way to give back. Find a way to go to a game. Find a way to buy something at the concession. Do anything. I'm going to do whatever I can to help out this year, even if it's broadcasting there or taking a day off so I can go out to the fields. Whatever I can do, that is what I'm going to do. I cannot wait for this year. Jared, you're the man. I'm so glad Jared Guthrie is one of those people. I'm just so glad that I've been able to meet over the years. I consider him a dear friend. And guys, if you could do anything to help 813 Preps out, 813preps.com. Please, please, please. I say this all the time. Support local. Support local. All right, coming in at number 13 on the list, it is Buccaneers general manager Jason Licht. Last year, coming in at number 7. Jason Licht, it's 13 this season. And for Jason Licht, and getting to watch him during the Raise the Flags documentary, it's this guy, you can just tell how much he cares about people. And even if he's not perfect, and listen, I think that there has been shortcomings as far as bringing in edge rushers, as far as bringing in guys that are going to be speedy in the middle of the field at the linebacker spot. But you cannot fault a guy like Jason Licht and say that he doesn't care. You just watch that documentary and the way that he would meet with BA and the discussions that he had about Leonard Fournette and Tom Brady and Baker Mayfield, and you just see what he does on social media and, jabbing Cam Jordan. This is a man's man. This is just a dude. This is a dude. And I'm in the minority and I'll be on that short list. I liked it, and I still do the pick of Roberto Aguayo. To have the balls to be able to pick a kicker in the second round, I like that kind of stuff. Take a freaking chance. That's what I want to see him do now with the pass rushers, man. Take a freaking chance, brother. But I like that. It didn't set them back that much. They win the freaking Super Bowl a couple of years later. I know you can't do it a lot, but I like when guys go for the gusto. And I'm just very appreciative of Jason Licht and all that he's been able to do, bringing Mike Evans here, bringing so many of these other top-tier players. Has he had his misses? Yes, but who hasn't? Who hasn't? And we went back and we actually did the math one time. I think I've said this on the show before, but when Ron Diaz and I were hosting together, we actually went through all the draft picks and all the free agents during Jason Licht's tenure, and it was like 55% were hits, which is, I think, better than half is good from all the research that I've done, all the different things that I've talked to people about. People have said, like, yeah, as long as you're over 50%, and he was at kind of 55%. So shout out to Jason Licht. This is a guy that cares about the Buccaneers, cares about the Tampa Bay community. So I'm happy that he's the general manager of the Bucs, and he's part of that group that establishes that culture. And you're talking about bringing in the right people, not just the right players, the right people. And I love that. I think that's part of the reason why we've seen success with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Julian Breezewell talks about that a lot. It's not about the players that we bring in. It's about the people. I brought up the Nick Paul situation many times, sitting at the bus stop or at the bus station and saying that his, I think, then girlfriend or fiance was so just honored and flattered that Steven Stamkos' wife already reached out to her. He wasn't even in the country yet. And then you see during the Raise the Flags documentary, and and you've seen Casey Phillips talk about this with the Bucs as well. Levante David, that man, being the man, being a Buccaneer player, what does that mean? Levante David lives it. He isn't just he lives it. And it goes back to the Tony Dungy stuff, right? That's the common thread with this Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization. When they're at their best, they're not just led by great players. They're led by great leaders and great men. Leroy, Tony Dungy, Jason Light. No surprise there. All right, number 12 on the list. This is the first year that this young man has been on the list. Number 12, Emeka Egbuka. The rookie wideout from Ohio State. And again, I remember being on the air months ago and wondering if this was the right move. Is this what the Buccaneers should be doing? Should they be drafting a wide receiver? They've got Mike. They've got Chris. They've got J-Mac. They've got Cam. They've got Sterling. They had Ryan Miller, right? They had, at the time they had Trey Palmer. It's like, they've got all these guys. Why are they drafting a wide receiver? And it wasn't because I didn't believe that he was a good player. It was, isn't there other needs? Shouldn't you get a linebacker? Shouldn't you get a pass rusher? It'd be nice to have a James Pierce Jr. or a Jalen Walker. But no, they go with Emeka Egbuka. Now, the question of whether they should have went defense, maybe they should have. Maybe. We don't know. But what we do know is that Emeka Egbuka early on this season really buoyed this offense. And when Chris Godwin came back and then left, when Jalen McMillan got hurt in the preseason, when Mike Evans got banged up, Emeka Egbuka went from a guy that we thought possibly could be wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4. Now you're looking at a guy that had to be wide receiver 1. And I think he stepped in and filled in admirably while those guys were out. Sky's the limit with this kid. And again, I think one of the best things that you could say about somebody is that he reminds you of Chris Godwin. And I've articulated this before, and I'll say this to you guys again. People that are within the Buccaneers organization are not going to compare somebody to Chris Godwin just based on what he does on the field. You know Chris. You know what kind of person he is. So mature at such a young age. So they're not going to be all willy-nilly with the comparisons when they compare him to Chris Godwin. Because you know what you don't want to do? You don't want to say, yeah, the rookie receivers, he reminds me of Chris Godwin, but he's not a great leader and he's not very mature. Like you're not going to do that. You're going to set up your rookie wideout for failure. You would never do that. They know. And that speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. Emeka Egbuka coming in at number 12 on the list. He's knocking at the door of the top 10. This kid has just been unbelievable. Yes, the last couple of weeks, has it been as solid? No, of course not. He's hit a little bit of a rookie wall. But now that you have Micah back and Chris back and J-Mac back, you can ease him in. And I don't be surprised if Emeka Egbuka is that guy down the stretch that helps push the Bucs into the playoffs. I think he's the X factor. Because now when you look at it, and keep an eye out on Sunday, don't be surprised. I'm going to put money on Emeka Egbuka scoring a touchdown or 2 on Sunday. No doubt. Because when you watch it, they're going to throw everything at Mike. He had 130 yards last week. They know what Chris can do. And then Jalen McMillan, and then Emeka is just going to kind of sneak. He's going to be going up against their 3rd or 4th corner. Watch out for Emeka Egbuka this weekend, guys. Tony, Jay, please give me your level of confidence that whoever the Rays play at second base next season is more productive than Lau. Mine is -10 out of 10. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because you know what he brought to the table when he was healthy. This is a guy that really has power for not the biggest guy in the world. Power-wise, yeah, I think I don't know who you're going to get that's going to be able to replicate and duplicate the power numbers, but maybe you get a guy that's got a little bit more range. Maybe you get a guy that's put the ball in play a little bit more. Maybe a guy that you can pencil in for 140 games. It's rough, man. I know it's not easy. That is for sure, but we still want to make sure we keep an eye on their nothing official. But we're hearing more and more about it, so we shall see. All right, make sure you follow me at Recher. We're getting closer and closer to the top 10 here. Let's go to number 11 on the list. Number 11 is also making his debut on this list, and it is new Rays owner Patrick Zalupski, part of the new ownership group for the Tampa Bay Rays. Very, very surprising. This was the number one surprise, I think, on the list for me, because you never know. Like you think of the big names on each team when you think of the players. You never know when you're talking to the media contingents where the coaches are going to rank, where the front office guys are going to rank. But to have so many people have Patrick Zalupski on their list really stood out to me. And this is a guy trying to usher in a brand new era of Tampa Bay Rays baseball, and people are clamoring for the change. They want something different, and I don't think we can necessarily blame them. All right, to talk a little Rays baseball, he joins us, one of our favorite guests of the year. It's our pal, Evan Klosky. What's going on, brother? How are you?
Doing well. Not at the porch.
Not at the porch. I know everybody's very upset right now.
Yeah, I tried to actually hook this up to my work computer, and it was not working, so I ran into the corner room. So here I am in my non-porch world.
All good, buddy. So, hey, he didn't make your list. I checked it. But Patrick Zalupski came in at number 11, brother. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, I thought about putting Zalupski in there. I just didn't know. I didn't want to come across as the biased one that plays into the fans of being like, hey, this is the man that took Stu out of town. But I certainly understand it, because there are a lot of people who did not love Stu Sternberg. So if you want to parade and be happy about the change in ownership, certainly Patrick Zalupski is the guy that a lot of people will rally around.
Stu Sternberg did make the list at number 19. We've also had Yandy at 15. And then we're seeing, I don't know if you heard the news about Brandon Lau. It looks like he's on the move in a trade. What are you anticipating for the Rays in 2026?
Yeah, I mean, and hand up, by the way, I put Stu at number 1 because I don't think I don't think there was a figure who was talked about more during 2025 in Tampa Bay than Stu. Going back to January, everything that happened there leading up to his departure. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be very interesting if this trade goes through. Reportedly seems like a 3-way deal if it happens between Pittsburgh and Houston. Looks like the Rays would get Jacob Melton back, which would actually provide them a center fielder for the future. He's really interesting. 25 years old, has some decent pop, above average center fielder as well. So if you can add like a 20 to 25 home run guy there in center who plays above average defensively, man, that's pretty good. And then you also kind of remove this logjam at second base with Brandon there, though. Talking about next year, your offense is not going to be as good as it could be with Brandon in there. So I understand it from a big picture standpoint, but from a 2026 standpoint, I don't think that's going to really help your lineup too much.
You think Yandy Diaz comes back? We just had him on the list at number 15. You think he returns next year?
I have a tough time believing that they're going to part ways with Yandy and Brandon. If there's a deal that Eric is able, that's such an overpay. Like, of course they got to take that. Sure, Yandy could be traded. The Rays are going to listen to everybody and anybody. We know that. But at this point, Yandy is so cost effective for what he provides. Like, it's really hard to part ways with somebody who produces that well and also costs like $10 million, $11 million, whatever it is. So, I mean, he is arguably the greatest, like, pure hitter in the game right now. So, if they can keep him, and not to mention he's a righty, to which they need in this lineup. So I would imagine that Yandy is likely here unless there's some crazy offer that comes across Eric's desk.
Evan, what was it like? Did you watch the Raise the Flags documentary?
Yeah, I did. I watched the whole thing. Yep.
What is it like when you're watching the documentary and you see your mug on the face on the screen? I mean,
it's funny. I got a text about it, so I knew it was coming, but I didn't tell my wife. So when my wife was watching, it was a nice surprise for her.
Oh, that's great.
It was certainly a surprise for me, but yeah, it was really fun to like certainly, we know a lot of the stories. And for me personally, it was nice to kind of hear some of those earlier years and some of the stories around that. Really enjoyed the documentary. It was so well done. Certain stories, I think, weren't told completely all the way through. But that's sort of what you get when the Glazers have their hand in the final product. But that does not detract away from how well it was done, the emotions that were provided from some of the players, organizational members, so on and so forth, who gave such great detail of things in the past. And if you're a Buccaneers fan out there, it's a must watch.
Real quick before I let you go, it looks like Jake Mangum and Mason Montgomery are also going to Pittsburgh. Overpay? That seems like a lot, brother.
Well, yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. Hot take. Jake Mangum and Chandler Simpson, to me, was a redundant duo. Right. I love Jake, but his skill set is the same as Chandler, and Chandler has a much higher ceiling than Jake. There's an argument to be made that we saw the best of Jake Mangum last season. So while he's a fan favorite, I get it. And then Mason Montgomery, look, this is a guy whose his stuff plus is some of the best in the league, but he doesn't have control. And if there's one thing the Rays do not tolerate well, it's pitchers who have a lack of command of the zone.
No doubt.
And Mason Montgomery doesn't know where to put the dang pitch. So this might be a way to say, look, we don't know what to do with him. And it's same thing with Curette, who was a highly touted prospect who was on the 40-man for a couple of years, and they traded him for a relief pitcher who could be part of the stable from Philly. And the reason being is that, look, they tried to develop him. The command wasn't coming along. And if you're not going to pitch with command, your ceiling is only so high. You have to command the zone.
No doubt about it. He is Evan Klosky, WTSP 10 Tampa Bay. Ev, it's always a great time to talk to you. This is our shortest chat of all time. I guarantee you the next one will be 10 times as long as this.
Yes.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays to you and yours, my friend. Are you going to be at the Lightning game tomorrow night?
I will not be, as I'm putting together some final stuff because I'm taking off all the next week for the holidays.
Nice.
So I got to leave some stuff for David behind so that he's taken care of and not by his lonesome completely.
Nice. Well, you keep David Shealy, the new papa, in line, buddy, and
have
a good New Year. I'll see you in 26, buddy.
Make sure next time you talk to him, ask him about John Cena.
Oh, geez. All right, here we go. Thanks, Ev. You're the best, buddy.
I'll see you. Happy holidays.
You too, man. The great Evan Klosky, Klosky WTSP 10 Tampa Bay. Love him, man. One of the most talented people here in the Tampa Bay area, no doubts. All right. If you just joined us, our top 20 sports stars of Team Tampa Bay in 2025. At number 20 was Jake Gensel. First time on the list for him. Number 19, Stu Sternberg. Last year he was at number 17. Number 18, Derek Brooks, newest member of the contingent, the powerhouse group over there at USF. Number 17, Joe Urso, who joined us on the program, UT legendary baseball coach. Number 16, Bucky Irving, Buccaneers running back. At 15, Yandy Diaz, who Evan thinks is going to stay after it looks like Brandon Lau is on the move. Number 14, former USF head coach Alex Golish. Number 13, the general manager of our Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jason Light. Number 12, the Buccaneers rookie wideout, Mecca Abuka. And then number 11, Patrick Zalewski, the new owner of the Tampa Bay Rays. You guys ready for number 10? We are an hour down on the program, about an hour to go. Coming in at number 10 on the list, another gentleman that has been on the list every single year. Ladies and gentlemen, that man is Victor Hedman. Victor Hedman joining us here on the program at number 10. He is out until right before the Olympic break. It looks like I got a chance to see Hetty yesterday. Yesterday was his birthday. The big Swede has just been absolutely incredible for this Tampa Bay Lightning team. As I mentioned, one of the, I think, 3 people that have been on this list every single year, maybe 3 or 4. Maybe it's 5. But Hetty last year, so he's number 10 this year, captain of the team. Last year he was number 13. In 2023, he was number 11. In 2022, he was number 9. And in 2021, he was number 15. In 2020, he was number 2. That was his highest ranking. In 2019, he was 14th, and then in 2018, he was 12th. So he was in the top 15 every single year. This is 8 years in a row that Victor Hedman is in the top 15 of our top 20 sports stars of Tampa Bay. In unbelievable ambassador for our community. Just such a good player still at this stage of his career. He battled back, came back from injury, and unfortunately, what he was dealing with his elbow, he has to go back, get surgery, and hopefully he'll be okay for the back half of the regular season, the postseason. And of course, you know how much it means to him to be able to represent Team Sweden. Didn't get a chance to do that. And just love him. Love him. I say it a lot. It's going to be a sad day when number 77 is not suiting up for the Tampa Bay Lightning anymore. But this is a guy that's going to be a Hall of Famer. This is a guy that's going to have his number in the rafters. This is I think you could argue that Victor Hedman may be the greatest athlete to ever play in Tampa Bay. Like, it's just, he's that freaking good. Norris Trophy winner, Conn Smythe winner, the man, just the absolute man. All right, moving on. A little bit of a surprise here at number 9. This guy has really made a profound impact on the Tampa Bay area. This is the first time that he's ever been on the list. He's actually one spot higher than his captain, Victor Hedman, and that is Brandon Hagel. Another one of my big surprises was Brandon Hagel, who was not ranked last year. He got some votes, but he didn't make the top 25. Brandon Hagel coming in at number 9 on the list of the top 20 sports stars of Tampa Bay in 2025. This trade to bring him in for Chicago, it was a hefty price that Julian paid to the Blackhawks to bring him here. And I can't stress to you guys enough. That first day when he got traded, I've never seen a professional athlete look so lost. He was looking around like it was a little kid in New York City for the first time. His bright-eyed, he didn't know what the hell was going on. He didn't know what kind of player he was supposed to be. And then now you look at him last year, one of the best players in all of hockey. No doubt. 5-on-5, a beast. He's probably part of the best penalty-killing tandem in the game with Anthony Cirelli. Insane how good of a player he is. And unfortunately, one of the things that we have to put into this whole thing is him dealing with the injuries and the headshots he's been taking from the Florida Panthers. But he was phenomenal for Team Canada in the Four Nations. He dropped the gloves with Tkachuk. That endeared him to a lot of people north of the border. I don't see how he doesn't make this team for the Olympics. Brandon Hagel and Anthony Cirelli. He's a guy that just does his job every single game. And, you know, it sucked to see the Lightning lose last night in that game to the LA Kings. You know, when they lock it down, they lock it down. But when that game finishes and you see the 6 guys that are on the ice and you don't see Hagel, you don't see Cirelli, you don't see Kucherov, it's like you kind of get it, right? They're playing their butts off, but just they're not getting the results. Out of all the deals that Julien Brisebois has made, as far as trades and bringing guys in, I mean, Brandon Hagel, that might be the best one when you think about it. As far as expectations versus reality, I think bringing him in, you thought he was going to be a good player, but bringing him in, I don't know if they thought he would be this good. I'm talking about a top line guy that can score over 85 points a year. Like, this is a bad dude. He kills penalties. He can play on the power play, and he's a grinder. That type of player is going to be successful at any point of the season because he just doesn't let up. You never, ever question the intensity, the effort, the energy from Brandon Hagel. Look at the picture that I use. That guy is he is non-stop. He does not let up one bit. He's just an incredible athlete. I got a chance to see him last night walking out with Eric Chernak. Hopefully those guys will both be back sooner rather than later, but what an absolute godsend to be able to have him on the team. Brandon Hagel coming in at number 9. That chemistry, the relationship, the rapport that he has with Anthony Cirelli on the penalty kill. We've seen Cirelli have that with Alex Killorn. We've seen him have it with Matthew Joseph. So he is definitely the common denominator, but that repartee that he has with Hagel It's just insane. Insane in the membrane, as Benny likes to say. Kuch has got to be in there. Is Nikita Kucherov on this list? We shall see. All right. Brandon Hagel comes in at number 9. I'd like to hear what you guys have to guess for your top 8. Get those guesses in now. Who are in your top 8? Who's your top 5? I want to hear who you guys think make number 1 on the list. Go through it. Give me your top 1, 3, 5, 8. List the guys, stars in Tampa Bay. Put them in there right now, and the winner will get a free T-shirt. Whoever gets the closest, whoever gets the most right answers, gets a Jay Recher podcast T-shirt when we have our merch in 2026. So whoever, and no, I'm not number 1, Eddie. That sucking up ain't gonna work, brother. Give me as many right answers as humanly possible out of the top 7 or 8 guys. Whoever gives me the most in the next couple of minutes, I'll give you a shirt next year. All right. You ready for number 8 on the list? Number 8 on the list. He was not ranked last year, but he was number 15 back in 2023. And that is USF quarterback still as of now, Byron Brown. Again, Byron not ranked last year, number 15 back in 2023 when he led the Bulls to their first of 3 straight bowl games. He had the opportunity this year to really cement his legacy as the greatest quarterback in USF history. Now, is it of his own doing, all the stuff? No. No, obviously the defense let him down. Some of the offense, they win as a team as lose as a team, right? You hear that all the time. But when you talk about the greatest quarterbacks in USF history, like he's definitely in that conversation. Winning games, going into Florida and beating the Gators up there in Gainesville. That win over Boise State. I know he was part of the first win as far as the bowl, and it was Bryce Archie last year, but Byron Brown gave some really good memories to the fans of the green and gold. Just the style of play, so endearing because he was a guy that was lowering his head. He played a very physical brand of football at the quarterback position. You just don't see that very often. And what he was able to do was just exemplary. It really was. And I think he's gone. Why wouldn't you be? Because I don't know what his future looks like in the National Football League. Is he accurate enough to play in the NFL? I don't know. It was a little better as the year went on, but that's going to be his big bugaboo. Can you make plays within the pocket? We know he can run, but he's not going to be able to run guys over at the NFL level like he did in college. So you have to prove to people that you can win with your arm. And I just don't know if people are convinced. If they were convinced, you would see him in mock drafts as a first, second, or third round pick. But if you're not sure, go to another school and go get the bag. If it's Auburn, if it's another one of these Power 4 schools, if you're Byram, go out there, get your money. It could be the most money that you ever see. I don't fault the kid at all. Byron Brown comes in at number 8 on the top 20 sports stars of Tampa Bay in 2025. I want you guys to get your guesses in, like Roley. Mike Evans at number 1, Baker Mayfield at number 2, Rob Higgins at number 3. He's got Derek Brooks at number 4. We've already seen Derek Brooks on the list before, so he's not going to be there in the top 4, Roley. If you get an answer right, or whoever gets, not if you get the answer right, whoever gets the most answers right in the top 5 will win a Jay Recher podcast t-shirt. No, Eddie, you got to go in order, buddy. You got to go in order, like Roley. 1, Mike Evans, 2, Baker Mayfield, 3, Rob Higgins, 4, Derek Brooks. Whoever gets the most in order in the top 5 wins a Jay Recher podcast t-shirt in 2026. You got to give me top 5 in order. Let's do it right now. Questions, or put those comments at the bottom of the screen. Top 5 Tampa Bay sports stars in 25 in order right now. All right, let's go to number 7 on the list. Number 7 on the list. And this is a guy that's been on the list a couple times before, and it is Buccaneers left tackle Tristan Wirfs. Tristan, last year at number 10, he was number 9 in 2023 and number 15 in 2022. Tristan Wirfs' highest ranking for him on the list. No, hold on. Sorry, guys. And we know, where am I? There I am. There we go. For Tristan, moving from right tackle to left tackle, he's just been so freaking good and arguably the best tackle in the game. And you saw the difference that this offensive line looked like when he wasn't in there. He is a guy that continues to get better and better and better every single year. And I thought it was great to listen to him and to see him during the Raise the Flags documentary talk about the relationship with Tom Brady and how Tom was dog cussing Ali Marpet and how Tom was terrifying. And it's just, Tristan Wirfs is a guy that could go down as arguably the greatest Buccaneer of all time. At least offensively. It's tough to grade the offensive lineman like that. Once you get in the conversation, that helps you going forward. But this is a guy that Pro Bowler, all pro, missed some games this year, but when he's come back and he's been dominant, he's been really, really good. When he has a bad game, it stands out because you just don't see it very often. And it was kind of ironic that one of his worst games this year was against the New Orleans Saints in the game they won. So Tristan Wirfs, just to hit the ground running like he did as a rookie at right tackle for the Buccaneers in that first season to help this team win the Super Bowl. One of the best rookie seasons in Bucs history. And it's hard to quantify with numbers as an offensive lineman. But when you watch the games, you know how good this guy is. And Ian Beckles would tell me all the time, he goes, Jay, this doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. Guys like this are not that good, that young. And he is. Incredible job by Tristan Wirfs. Get your guesses in right now. Eddie, this is Eddie's guess. Cooch at 6, Mayfield at 5, Evans at 4, Isaac at 3, Taylor at 2, DeBose at 1. Get your guesses in now. Let me know. Leave your comments. Whoever has the best and the most in the top 5 in order will win a J Recher Podcast t-shirt in 2026. All right, coming in at number 6 on this list, another person that has been on the list every single year. He was an honorable mention in 2019, but he's certainly in the top 6 this year. Coming in at number 6, the head coach of your Tampa Bay Lightning, John Cooper. Coop was number 9 last year, so he moves up 3 spots. Number 19 in 2023, number 5 in 2022. His all-time high was back in 2021 when he was number 3. In 2020, he was number 6. He was an honorable mention, as I said, in 2019, and then number 18 in 2018. The longest tenured coach in the NHL right now. When you watch Coop after games like last night, he's on a completely different level. And for him, it's so freaking important. Like, it's about the process, not the result. It's about focusing on how we're playing right now. Yeah, of course you want to munch points, but you got to make sure that you're playing the game the right way. And for this Lightning team, they have gone through some struggles. Coop was telling us last night, he's like, look at how many shot attempts do we have? Am I supposed to be worried? Like, he has such a good perspective. And that's why when people bring up a lot of things about Todd Bowles, they're like, oh, he doesn't show passion, he doesn't show emotion. Like, yeah, you've seen Coop's passion before when he's fist pumping after they beat the Islanders or he's arguing with the referee, but the majority of the time, Coop is pretty stoic on the sidelines too. He's very even keel. And he's spoken about that in the past. You can't get too high, you can't get too low. It's a long season. And when the players are getting emotional, they want to turn around and look behind the bench and see a guy that's not freaking out. They want to see a guy that's under control. And that's what John Cooper has been. And he's been the best coach in the history of Tampa Bay sports. Maybe he's number 2 behind Joe Urso. Pro sports, John Cooper's number 1. But an incredible career that Coop has had. And to talk about John Cooper and his time with the Tampa Bay Lightning. We bring in our good pal Eric Erlinson, lightninginsider.com. What's going on, buddy? How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. There he is, everybody. So John Cooper makes number 6 on the list. No surprise there. I mean, just so crazy to think the longest tenured coach in the National Hockey League. He was number 9 last year. He's been ranked all 8 years I've done this, Double E. No surprise that he's one of 5 people to be able to say that.
No, not really. Team missed the playoffs was 16-17 when they lost Stamkos and Byhan early in the year. And then by the end of the year, Tyler Johnson was out and Vladimir Mestikov was out. And, Braden Point got elevated to number 1 center and played with Nikita Kucherov. And Nikita Kucherov almost helped will this team in the playoffs that year. So that's the only year he's missed the playoffs. 4 Stanley Cup final appearances since 2015. 6 total conference championship rounds. He doesn't get the respect that he deserves for the job he's done. Right? Everybody looks at this team and says, well, it's talented. Of course they're going to be able to, win games. Of course they can. And everything is based on expectations. But I'm going to tell you, especially in this league, it's hard to do what John Cooper has done, and that's keep a team successful for this type of run, right? Like this is, I don't know. I don't understand why he doesn't get the love and support of, national voters, and it's the broadcasters that vote on Coach of the Year. It's become too much of the did the best job with the least expectations award is what it's come down to. He's only been nominated as a finalist twice, right? But if he gets this team to the playoffs this year, I don't know how you can deny the job that he's done with the injuries that this team has sustained. And, he coached Canada to the, Four Nations Championship last year. And, he's going to be the coach behind the bench for the Olympics. And, the pressure that comes with being Team Canada's coach at any international tournament, but especially a best on best situation, there's a lot of pressure that comes with it. So the fact that he just doesn't, get the recognition that he deserves. But, when you look at these player polls and all these players say, what coach would you want to play for?
Yeah.
John Cooper's name is always on that list, right? He's always on that list. And, he's just got this knack, right? Like he said it before, his strength has never been X's and O's. Not that he doesn't understand it and all that.
Right.
His strength is how he deals with and relates with the players. And he has grown and matured in that area that it was already a strength of his throughout his tenure behind the bench here. You hear Chiefs say it all the time that in hockey, a coach's voice tends to get tuned out after a while.
Yeah, it does.
But he's still tuned in. The guys, the players still react to him. I mean, you can criticize a team when they're losing, and certainly we've seen that this year at the start of the year, and, they're kind of going through another little bit of a tough stretch right now. How hard are they playing? Is the coach up there like Craig Berube saying, go ask the players why they don't have passion? Right. No, you never hear that about John Cooper. He knows how to get the best out of his players. He doesn't tear you down. He allows you to learn from your mistakes, and he will give you a chance to reconcile for them, right? He's not going to bury a guy for a mistake, and they respond to that. He is so honest with the players that when you're honest with players, they will respond for you. And that's a strength. And I don't think he gets enough credit for the job he continues to do behind the bench here in Tampa Bay.
Not the only member of the Lightning on the list. Victor Hedman came in at number 10. And E, before I let you go, coming in at number 9, one spot ahead of Victor Hedman was Brandon Hagel. And Brandon Hagel is a guy that got a lot of love from the media members here in the Tampa Bay area. And I don't know if it had to do with the fight at the Four Nations or just how well he's playing, but he's really endeared himself to the Bay Area, hasn't he?
Yeah, for sure. Just the way he plays. Certainly the fight against Tkachuk to start that game against the U.S. and the Four Nations raised his profile to a higher level, on that stage for sure. But you look at the importance of this team and where he is, it wasn't a coincidence when, they started this year 1-4-2 and Brandon Hagel was struggling to score.
Right.
Once he started to score, they took off, right? They won 15 out of 18 games to pull themselves up out of the cellar. But like, you just have to love the way that Brandon Hagel plays. And I think we've seen it throughout the existence of this franchise. It's sort of I don't want to use the word underdog, but sort of the unknown players that just go out and work hard. How much Yanni Gourde has assimilated himself, the players just seem to endear themselves to Lightning fans. And I think Brandon Hagel fits that mode because he just doesn't stop. Like, his motor is always going. His energy is infectious. And, he's a 30-goal scorer and a 90-point guy. And, his chemistry that he's had with Anthony Cirelli, I can easily see why. Like, I love watching Brandon Hagel play.
Yeah.
And I just love watching him play every night because every night he will do something. He doesn't score every night. Sometimes it feels like he does when he gets on a hot streak, but he will always make an impact on a game somehow, right? Whether it's a good forecheck, whether it's a good penalty kill, whether it's, picking off a pass and going the other way on a 2-on-1 shorthanded. Like, he always has some sort of an impact, and you notice a Brandon Hagel every single night because he just doesn't quit.
Eric Erlinson, lightninginsider.com, guys. Subscribe today. It's a great gift to get your friends and family. If you're looking for that last-minute gift for a Lightning fan, use that promo code JNZ. Not just $10 off this year, but every recurring season. Double E, always a pleasure, my man. Thank you for joining us every Wednesday. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks on the show, and I'll see you tomorrow night, my brother. Merry Christmas and happy holiday to the entire Icelandic crew over there.
All right, same to you, Jay, and same to everybody else tuning in and watching. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and we'll catch you on the other side.
You're the man. Thanks, E.
Be well.
See you, buddy. The great Eric Erlinson, lightninginsider.com. Again, subscribe today. We always talk about, supporting local. I mean, Double E is at the top of the list. No doubt about it. A big thank you to, look at this, another super chat. Thank you so much, Marissa, $20 super chat. Thank you so much. 6 super chats. That's how we're supporting local, right? Super chats. We talk about Honest Hammer. That's always on the other side. Honest Hammer, Ever Health, supporting Tampa Bay Times, supporting Lightning Insider. Like, guys, we got to do this, man. Local media is so key in our community, and I can't stress it enough. Especially a guy like Eric that's been covering this team for so freaking long. He's been there for me. I've learned so much about the game, and I grew up playing hockey, and I've learned so much about the game and so much about the Lightning from him. If I have a question about the Lightning, I'm going to Eric, and that is no doubt about it. So again, support him, support local, lightninginsider.com. Use that promo code JNZ, 3 letters. Shane Boz going to the Orioles for 4 prospects. I just saw that. Pretty freaking crazy. Shane Boz stays in the division and he heads to the Orioles. Tony Tega, when his career is over, Tristan Wirfs will legit go down as the best player the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have ever drafted. I said what I said. Okay. David Terry, okay. Get your guesses in now. You have 2 minutes to get your final guesses in. David Terry says Derek Brooks 1. He's already been on the list, you knucklehead. Mike Evans 2. Baker Mayfield 3. Cabranaro, I think you meant Junior Caminero. And then Rob Higgins, number 5. All right. We shall see. You have 2 minutes to get your guesses in. A big thank you to all of our super chats so far. Janet Best, Victor Boucher, our guy Eddie Harada, David Terry, 813 Preps, M. Marissi Riss, 87. Thank you so much. I appreciate all you guys for the love and the support. I could not do this without you guys. Having so much fun here on the show today. We'll get to the top 5 in about 2 minutes, so you better get them in now. Get them in now. But before we get to the top 5, let's talk about who is missing. Who is missing from the list this year? All right, there's a lot. There's a lot every year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 people missing from the list this year. And 8 people from the top 20. That's what a freaking flip of the list this year. 2 honorable mentions gone. 8 people of the top 20 last year didn't even make the list at all. Number 4 last year was Amir Abdur-Rahim. And of course, we miss Amir every single day. And he'll live through us, live on through us, forever. His impact will forever be felt here in the Tampa Bay area. At number 5, this guy did get some votes. Liam Cohen. Liam Cohen was number 5 last year. I think people were just so high on what he was able to do for this offense and wondering if he was going to be part of the future of the Buccaneers. He is not on the list this year. A little bit of a surprise that this guy didn't make the list. It's probably his last season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but Levante David was missing from the list this year. He was number 12 last season. Number 13 last season was Kevin Cash. Nothing from the Rays manager this year. And it's very interesting that Kevin Cash at 13 and Todd Bowles at number 16, both not on the lists. What do you think that is? Also missing from the list, who was number 18 last year, is Jeffrey Vinnick. Number 19, Julian Brisebois. Number 20, Eric Neander. And then 2 people on the honorable mention list, and these kind of make some sense. Steven Stamkos, who got some votes last year because, how the whole thing ended and him moving on. And then Michael Kelly, former athletic director, vice president of athletics for USF. And now we have a CEO of athletics with Rob Higgins. But Steven Stamkos and Michael Kelly, both honorable mentions last year, did not make the list this year. So there you have it. You got 60 seconds to get in your final guesses. Who are your top 5? At 1:32, I am going to reveal number 5 on the list. Again, follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. I'm a little bit of everywhere. Like and subscribe on YouTube as well. A big thank you to all the super chats. Keep the super chats coming, man. Every little bit counts. Whatever you can do to donate to the program, that's what's going to help us keep this thing rolling. Again, a big shout out to Honest Hammer and Evra Health. Honest Hammer Custom Builders, LLC, 813-244-0956. All your residential and commercial needs. TheHonestHammer.com, TheHonestHammer@gmail.com. Shoot them an email. You want work done in 2026, they can help you out. You want somebody that's going to take care of your home because they realize that your home and how important it is, they can help you out. And EverHealth, 17 different locations in Pinellas County. We've had conversations with just about how great they are. Sliding scale for the uninsured. They take so many different kinds of insurance. And our EverHealth injury report every Thursday with Dr. Carlos Rodriguez is such a freaking fantastic I just love that segment. It's just the best, and he's such a great guy. And there's so many people like him that work there at EverHealth. All right, here we go. The top 5. Top 5, baby. I want to tweet this out. Top 5 start now. Top 5 now. Get here. All right, guys and gals. Top 5. Who's going to be number 5 on the list? This is a guy that's always gotten votes. He, I think, one year made honorable mention, but I don't know if he's ever been in the top 20, maybe once or twice. But he's in at number 5 this year after not being on the list last year. Whoops. And it is the new CEO of athletics for the University of South Florida, and that is Rob Higgins. Huge advancement on this list. What he's been able to do in such a short time with USF already, putting them on the map, making the transition from Alex Golish to Brian Hartline. This is a guy that's USF through and through. He bleeds green and gold. We've had him here on the show before. Just an incredible human being. Love this guy. And he means the world to me. He really does. And again, I said this before from the sneaker soiree last year. He goes, I love you, Jay, because of how much you love Team Tampa Bay. And you guys know, I love this freaking place. I wasn't born here. I wasn't raised here, but I love this freaking place. So I will do whatever it takes to put Tampa on the map, put Tampa Bay on the map, put the Bulls on the map. I love working with USF, and just the perfect guy to lead this team, to lead this athletic program into the future with the NIL and the transfer portal and all the changes. Like, the great thing about USF is they understand the importance of athletics and how sports is going to be the way to kind of elevate the profile, that it will help the education side. I love it. I love this hire, and I think Rob Higgins with Derek Brooks, this just makes so much freaking sense. I love it. It's a beautiful thing. And Rob Higgins, congratulations, coming in at number 5. Again, he always got votes. But this year, he cracks not just the top 20, not just the top 10, but the top 5. All right. This next guy on the list, coming in at number 4. Last year, he was number 2. This is one of the highest ranked stars in the history of this list. All 8 years he's been ranked. All 8 years he's been in the top 12, and this is no different. Coming in at number 4, future Hall of Famer, future Buccaneer Ring of Honor member, wide receiver Mike Evans. Mike comes in at, again, number 4 this year. Last year, number 2. In 2023, he reached an all-time high. He was number 1 on this list. In 2022, he came in at 7. In 2021, he was number 7. In 2020, he was number 12. In 2019, he came in at number 3. And then at 2018, he was number 11. And Mike Evans is one of those guys where he's kind of like Victor Hedman is. When he's gone, you're gonna be like, damn, man, what a time. What a team. When you have Mike Evans, when they weren't so good, and then they end up winning the championship, the way he's been playing with so many different freaking quarterbacks out there, the way that he's just been so freaking good for this team. I can't say enough nice things about Mike Evans. And I just watched the Raise the Flags documentary last night, and to see the highlight that they put on him achieving the record, 1,000 yards for 11 straight seasons, and the conversation that Todd Bowles had with Baker Mayfield saying, Baker, you better not screw this up. I'll kick your ass. Like, it was just, that's what we had a feeling that we were going to do, because Todd is an old school guy. You're not going to necessarily sacrifice the team's chance to beat the Saints and make the playoffs just for a record. But it was like, all right, we're going to, like, what if he drops that ball? Like, do they throw it again? Like, the fact that they were able to do it on the first play, I've been at Raymond James Stadium a lot over the last 20 years, and I've been to a lot of games. I was there for the Super Bowl. But to feel the rumble of the fans, and you can feel the excitement from the team, and you can see the excitement of the team as they ran off the field after the game, there was just nothing like it. When you have a guy that's so selfless, when you have a guy that is just so deferential when it comes to the praise, when he gets to enjoy a moment in the sun like that, and you just, God, man, it's something that it'll never be lost on me. It's one thing when somebody celebrates their own achievements, and you hear guys complain in media like, oh, I'm not as popular as other people. And like, I was hearing the conversation yesterday with Cam Newton. He's like, well, everybody else, gets more love and all this different stuff. And it's like, all right, that's great. But you know what the thing is like, I don't want to hear Cam talk about Cam over and over and over and over again. You know what really stands out to me? What really stands out to me is when other people talk about a certain player. When other people tell me how great Mike Evans is, and not just the great player he is, but the great person he is. Mike did that about Vincent Jackson. I remember Mike telling me, he goes, Jay, early on, V-Jax was like, you got to take care of your body, man. Got to take care of your body. Got to take care of your body. And then you hear how guys like Chris were treated by Mike, how guys like J-Mac were treated by Mike, how guys like Tez Johnson were treated by Mike, how these young players could go to Mike Evans. He didn't make them feel bad for being a young player, for being a rookie. Like, all these great things that people say about Mike Evans. That's one part. But when you see somebody get an individual accolade and you see other people as happy as they were, as if they were the ones that got that record, that shows you who somebody really is. When somebody gets a promotion at work, when you see somebody like win a prize or something, and you see the people around them just overjoyed because of their happiness for that person, that speaks volumes of that person's character. That's the kind of person that you should strive to be. That when you win, the people around you feel like they won. Fuck, man, that is power. That's real power. That is real influence. That is what life should be all about. Those, and I was just talking about this when we were speaking about Joe Urso. Those are the kind of people that you should surround yourself with. No doubt about it. Love Mike Evans. All right, number 3. I was wondering how high this guy was going to be on the list, and thank you so much, Dustin and Benny. Appreciate the kind words. Guys, share this on your social media platforms. The top 3. Here we go. Coming in at number 3 on our list of the top 20 sports stars of Tampa Bay in 2025. Last year, he was an honorable mention, and he makes his foray into this list, into the top 20 at number 3. He is taking the Tampa Bay Rays by storm, and it is Junior Caminero. I don't know if it's because he's the clear-cut star on that team or it's because he's so freaking good already. But Junior Caminero is a guy that was built for the bright lights. He's got flair. He's just a guy that you want to root for, you want to pull for. He's one of the best young players in all of baseball. And I was so thoroughly impressed with how many people put Junior Caminero on the list. And the way I did it, and for those wondering, I asked everybody between 30 and 40 members of the Tampa Bay sports media here. I asked them, I said, give me your top 10. Give me your top 10. And then you're obviously going to get a different 10 from everybody. Well, not everybody, from a lot of people. And then if you had them at number 1, I gave that person 10 points. Number 2, 9 points, and so on and so forth all the way down, so that if you were in 10th place, you got 1 point. And then I just tallied all of the scores together. So out of all the people that I tallied up, all the athletes and stars, Junior Caminero came in 3rd with 154 points. The top 3 guys on this list all had over 100. Mike Evans actually came in 4th with 95. 162, 156, 154. It's so crazy how these 3 guys were on the majority of everybody's list and on the majority of everybody's list at the top. So it wasn't just that Junior Caminero came in and he was just on the list. People realize the stardom, and they realize how good this freaking kid is. Number 3 on the list, Junior Caminero. You just look at what he can do at the bat. I think he was better in the field than a lot of people thought. And if there's one thing that gives you optimism about the Rays going forward, is if this guy is in the middle of the lineup, they've got a shot. And I remember somebody asking me before the season, are you worried about heaping all of this responsibility on him this early on? I go, no. He's going to bat 3rd and play 3rd. Just the way it is. He's that good. Doesn't matter how old he's going to get. His plate discipline is going to get better. His eye's going to get better. He's going to become more experienced. That just comes with, that's the nature of the beast. But from what you see already, this kid is wise beyond his years. And as I alluded to before, this is a guy that rises to the level of the situation. Such a fun player to watch. And he was one of my guys. And again, the Zalupski and Brandon Hagel, I think, were the 2 biggest surprises. But when I'm putting the feelers out for who wants to get in on the list, the 2 guys that I really wanted to see, all right, where does everybody have them? One guy was Rob Higgins, and one guy was Junior Caminero. My guess would be, and I'm going to give you my list here in a bit, I was thinking that Rob was going to be top 10, and I thought Junior was going to be top 10, but I thought those guys would both be between 5 and 10. 6 and 10, really. But my goodness, will you look at where they are? Rob Higgins at number 5, Junior Caminero at number 3. I think Caminero's got a real good chance to be number 1 on this list based on what happens the next couple of years. Because you look at number 1s in the past. I mean, we mentioned that Mike Evans was number 1 on this list in the past. Tom Brady was number 1 on this list in the past. But we'll see who's number 1 on this list this year. Because I think once you see who number 2 is, you'll know who number 1 is. Let me tweet it out one more time. Right, it's the thing. Producing my own show too. All right. So Higgins at number 5, Evans at number 4, Junior Caminero at number 3, and now at number 2 on the list. This is, again, another guy that has been on the list every single year that we've done this. He is the highest ranked person ever in the history of this top 20 list. He has never been outside the top 10. He's never been outside the top 8. This guy is one of the greatest athletes that we have ever seen in the Tampa Bay area. He's won the MVP. He's kind of polarizing, but this is a guy that just year in, year out puts up points. Last year he was number 3. This year he is number 2. He is the right winger for your Tampa Bay Lightning, Nikita Kucherov. And just listen to his rankings over the years. Again, if you accumulate all the points that we've done every single year, Kuch is number 1 by far. Again, top 8. All 8 years we've done this. Number 2 this year, number 3 last year. He was number 2 in 2023, number 6 in 2022, number 5 in 2021, number 8 in 2020. He was number 1 back in 2019 and number 5 in 2018. So for the 8th year in a row, Nikita Kucherov is in the top 8. For the 3rd year in a row, he's in the top 3. And what more can you say about Nikita Kucherov and how good that he has been for this team? And you see it last night where unfortunately he had to leave early because he wasn't feeling too hot. But this team is clearly a different team when he's not out there. The vision that he has, the way that he can set people up, the passing skills, the way that he makes plays on the boards on his backhand, his shots, like he's just a guy that it's a shame that we're not going to be able to see him in the Olympics this year with Andrei Vasilevsky. But I'm hoping, and I was having this conversation last night, I'm hoping that with Kucherov and Vasilevsky not playing in the Olympics, that this is like a chip on their shoulder, that they're not a part of it and they take it out on the rest of the league. Because I saw the chip on the shoulder of Leon Draisaitl and David Pastrnak when those two guys were not participating in the 4 nations. So that's what these professional athletes do. They take it from anywhere. Whatever they can use as motivation, they will use. And I'm hoping that Nikita Kucherov and Andrei Vasilevsky are no different. That they go out and, okay, you guys want to brag about your Olympics, blah, 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 blah. We're going to work. We're going to get healthy. And then down the stretch, they're going to be flying. Watch out for Nikita Kucherov this second half. I think he can just go on an absolute tear. And everybody wants to always give all the love and the adoration to all these other players. And they always want to, keep Kuch on the outside. And listen, do that at your own peril. But I was there. I've talked to a guy like Nathan McKinnon and Matthew Barzell, and they were just telling me how they just watched Nikita Kucherov. And who was it? Oh yeah, I think it was Crosby and McKinnon talking. And Crosby was asking, like, who's your favorite player to watch? And McKinnon's in awe of what Cooch does because Nate has to move so fast to get everything done. And he's a freaking bull in a china shop. He's amazing. But he just marvels at, like, how does Cooch do that? And he doesn't have to skate so freaking fast. Like, he just wishes that his mind would process. Think about that. Nathan McKinnon's one of the greatest players we've ever seen. And he wishes he was a little bit more like Nikita Kucherov. It's a beautiful thing. All right, guys and gals, we have finally come down to number one. And number one on this list was number 12 back in 23. And for the second straight year, he is number one on our list. He is the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield. And this shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, if you're the quarterback of the NFL team in town, there's a good chance that you're going to be number one. We've seen it with Tom Brady in the past, but I just think what Baker's been able to do, leading this team to the playoffs again, the way he plays, the way that he goes about his business, the Mayfield, what he's been able to do with his wife and the charity in town. I mean, Baker has just been absolutely incredible. And just a great guy, man. He really is. And we're just very fortunate and very lucky that he's here and he's the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. It's been a lot of fun to watch him do his thing. And it's been a lot of fun to be able to watch this guy do his thing over the years. Joining us, a very special guest here on the program. He is the guy that joined us at the end of last year. And we only end the show the only way we know how, with the absolute legend, the one and only, the great Ronnie Night Train Lane joining us on the program. What's going on, pal? How are you?
What's up, Jay Recher? Good to see you. Good to talk to you, man.
Yes, sir, pal. Thank you so much. You finished our show last year when we did our Sports Stars of Tampa Bay, and we'll do it again this year. And we had the conversation last year. We'll start it again. Baker Mayfield, number one again. Not much of a surprise, huh, Ronnie?
No, not at all. He has not played as well as of late. The last several games, the Bucs have dropped 5 of the last 6 games. He got banged up right before that. That may have attributed to that. And I think with the team in a slide, he might be trying to do a little too much. Right. But he's got all of his receivers back now. He had them back for that Thursday night disappointing loss last week. And I think they rebound on Sunday. I have never seen Todd Bowles as upset as he was after the game. 7 F-bombs? Come on, man. That's not what we normally hear from him publicly. Now, privately, we hear that does go on in the locker room with Coach, that he gets in people's you-know-what. But we've never heard that publicly from Coach. So I think the frustration level is at a max. They can go one of two ways. And I'm thinking they're going to go up because they got all these receivers back. And I think Baker's going to relax and hit these guys, be on target. And we shall see the difference in the offense with that going on. Plus, Bucky Irving, this is his second game back. Right. And I think he'll have a better game as well.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ronnie. I think this is how many times in sports you have an opportunity to kind of prove yourself and to kind of direct the narrative in your way. And I think that's what the Buccaneers are going to do, is saying, all right, people are counting us out now. We have an opportunity. And I kind of like that this game's on the road because it'll help them with that us against the world mentality type of thing. I don't want to see, and you just mentioned Bucky Irving, I don't want to see no hot hand discussion. Give the ball to 7. He's your best running back. This is utilizing him. You've been trying to save him because I know he's been dealing with some injuries, but get him out there. Continue to do your thing. Ronnie, I wanted to ask you about the Raise the Flags documentary. You heard your voice in there a couple of times, man. Did you get a chance to watch it at all? I mean, it's been absolutely incredible.
My wife and I are watching it,
Nice.
Right now. We're up to episode number 6 or 7.
Nice.
I can't believe it. But yeah, it is very compelling. It is awesome. I encourage any Bucs fan, even if you're not a Bucs fan, if you're just a football fan and like good stories, this is a great story. How this franchise started, how it was a franchise of futility, losing their first 26 games. And now they've won 2 world championships. And, they've got a team right now that can compete when they're fully healthy, if things are going right. But right now they're struggling. But it's just a great story. You got to watch it. It's hard to describe, man, how in detail they go with some of the minutia that was going on during the championship run for the first championship. So it's incredible. That Keyshawn, John Gruden thing, man, I was cracking up watching that.
Yeah, no doubt, man. It's like, wait, it gets better as it goes on, which is so amazing. And I didn't live here during the Bo Jackson and Steve Young stuff. So to be able to get in all the in-depth conversations about that is just mind-blowing to me. You think JPP plays on Sunday?
You know what? I just don't think so. It's good to have him around the team because of his energy, but it'd be great to have him out there. I just don't know if he's in football shape. You know, if you've been out all season, that's a tough position, man, being an edge rusher. And that is really where the Bucs have lacked the emphasis on defense. The pass rush has not been consistent, and that causes the back half of the defense to falter a bit. You've got some young corners that are trying to learn the game. They're making mistakes, and mistakes are happening every week, and that's part of the frustration with Todd Bowles. I mean, they shouldn't be making these types of mistakes this late in the season.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Ronnie, before I let you go, I got to talk some Rays baseball with you. I don't know if you've seen the trades, but Brandon Lau gets traded. He's heading to Pittsburgh. He's not the only one. Jake Mangum's going. Mason Montgomery's out. And then we just saw Shane Baz getting traded to the Baltimore Orioles, man. This is just, the Rays are restocking those prospects, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And the thing with Brandon Lau, we could see that coming. When you're a veteran on this team, until they get a new house to play in and get revenue streams up, I think you're going to continue to see the Rays trade players right before they have to really, really pay them. And it's sad to see Brandon Lau going, man. He's a big part of this team. But, hey, it's the Junior Caminero era now, man, so let's roll.
That's right, buddy. And Junior, he finished he was an honorable mention, finishing about 25 on the list last year. He was number 3 on the list this year behind Baker Mayfield, Nikita Kucherov. We had Caminero at 3, Evans at 4, and Rob Higgins at number 5. It kind of shows you, and there's 8 people that weren't on the list this year that were on it last year. Amir Abdur-Rahim, Liam Cohen, Levante David, Kevin Cash, Todd Bowles, Jeff Finnick, Julian Breezewell, Eric Neander. I mean, it's times are changing in Tampa Bay sports, aren't they?
They really are. It's a transition period for the Rays, a little bit of that for the Bucs, and the Lightning. They are going through transition because a lot of the young players are coming up and playing because of all of the injuries, and I think it's sort of a transition period for the Tampa Bay Lightning as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And then Alex Golish and Byron Brown were on the list this year. They're probably not going to be on it next year. Brian Hartline, the new head coach at USF. What do you think about that?
I love it, man. What a great hire. And Rob Higgins deserves to be on this list for that hire alone, man. That was just incredible to be able to pluck that guy away from Ohio State. I thought that guy was going to be a head coach at one of the Power 4 schools. And maybe this is just telling you what Rob Higgins and Derek Brooks are trying to do at USF. They need to get that school into a Power 4 conference.
No doubt about it. What do you guys got planned for the holidays, my friend?
My wife and I, Bobby, we love Disney, so we don't have family here, so we're going to Disney World for Christmas, man. Actually,
nice.
we like Epcot Center and Animal Kingdom. Those are our 2 favorite parks.
Unbelievable. Well, make sure you check out Ronnie and our guy Pat Donovan, 98 Rock with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers radio. Hopefully it's more than 3 games, buddy. Hopefully it's a long postseason run. Give my love to Bobby and the entire family. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Night Train, you're the best, man. I love you, and thank you so much for joining us, man. Have a great rest of your year.
Jay, Merry Christmas to you and yours, and happy holidays, brother. Be safe.
You too, my man. The great Ronnie Night Train Lane, the best. You finished the year with a legend like Ronnie Night Train Lane. Unfreaking believable. Love Ronnie. He's the man. I want to talk about salt of the earth, people. He is that guy. All right, you guys want to get to my top 10 lists? You want to see who I put top 10? All right, see if how it matched up with everybody else. All right, so for me, I had at number 10, I had Byron Brown. I had Brandon Hagel at number 9. I had Joe Urso at 8. I had Caminero at 7. I had Hedman at 6. Cooper at 5. Higgins at 4. And then my 3 were just like how it went. Evans at 3. Kucherov at 2. And Mayfield at 1. So not too bad, right? I mean, I was, I don't know if you want to be like everybody else or not, but yeah, that's just the way it goes. What a year, man. What a year. Again, extremely grateful and honored that everybody was just so supportive in this endeavor. 210 episodes. It's so crazy to think that that's how many we've been able to do this year. 210. My God. But it's not stopping. We're going forward. We're going to change the background. We're going to change the stuff around. We'll still be rocking with Honest Hammer and Ever Health. We're in discussions with a couple more partners that are going to jump on board. If you know somebody, and listen, it's pretty affordable to be able to join up with us and be part of the family here. We're going to have our merchandise coming out next year. So there's a lot of great things in store. The Jay Recher podcast is just going to continue to roll on. And you know what we do here, man? We're just talking Tampa Bay sports and beyond. Nothing is off the table. Nothing. All the different guests that we've had this year. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank my guy, James Donlin, who's helped out so much. Our former producer over at WDA. He's helped me out a ton here with this and all the graphics. Our weekly guests, having Ian Beckles join us every Monday at 12:30, having Dr. Rodriguez and Ed Encina on Thursday, of course, Eric Erlinson on Wednesday, all the guys at Pewter Report and Joe Bucks Fan, everybody at the Tampa Bay Times, Greg Allman joining us a bunch, the guys at the former Daily Stampede, but Bay Area Examiner now. It's just been great. And everybody that tunes in every day, Benny and DT and Eddie and Janet and just Jeff Taylor and everybody, Bart and Dolan and like Janet, Victor, Eddie, DT, you Liverpool bastard, Jared Guthrie, Marissa, everybody out there. I can't thank you guys enough, man. You guys are the best. What a freaking awesome show. What an awesome year. Thank you, James. Job well done this year, Jay. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Rolly, what a great final show. Yeah, man, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you, Rolly. Support Rolly. Rolly, I got to go to one of your shows, man. I'm not a big music guy, but I want to go see you in action because you've always supported me. You're the best, Rolly. Thank you so much. And Lady Evil. My ring, I always keep it very close. From University of Tampa. Joe Urso for joining us today. Evan Klosky, Eric Erlinson, Ronnie Night Train Lane. Man, the great thing about a day like today is like you do it all, you finish it, you take a deep breath, and you go, I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish this year with this show, but it's just the start. The only way we're going to keep this rolling, more super chats, more partners, and just keep on trucking, baby. Follow me on all social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Again, we got to get up to 2,000 before the end of the year. A big thank you to Honest Hammer Custom Builders. Russ, you're the best. Love you, Jay. Mom and Dad is so proud to see you soon. Look at Mom and Dad. Love you guys so much. Thank you very much. A happy birthday to my Uncle Wally again. My godfather, the man. Thank you so much. Again, it takes a village. Keep your loved ones close, man. That's why I can't wait to go home for the holidays and spend so much time with my family. They are everything to me. Happy birthday to Yvette Scanio and Freddie Coleman, who's been a guest on the show before. Colin Sherwin, who's been a guest on the show before. It's a very special day, December 19th. What a great day for birthdays. But again, thank you to Honest Hammer, Custom Builders, LLC. Russ, he's just the best. Residential, commercial needs. You got a plot of land, you're looking for a new build. The way you can support me is supporting our partners here on the show. Honest Hammer, Ever Health. Can't thank Ben Gilbert with Ever Health that helped bring us together. It's been really, really good stuff. Guys, please follow them on social media. Utilize them. If you do that and you say, hey, man, you went to it's that the return on investment that they're looking for. Even if it's just one person, you don't understand what kind of impact that does or what kind of impact that has. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Mamola! John Mimosa in the house. Scott as well. It's been a great year listening. Merry Christmas, everyone. It ain't stopping, baby. It ain't stopping. The final Recher's Rapid reaction of 2025 will be tomorrow night after the Lightning game against the Hurricanes, one of my least favorite teams in all sports. So hopefully those guys will send me back. And I'll probably do some Recher's Rapid reactions after the Bucks game. We'll see. But I plan on being back probably the 3rd, 4th, or 5th for that game, the final week of the season, if the Bucks win. And then probably the first show will probably be the 6th back here. But we'll be back before you know, man. It's the 19th, 12, probably 18 days. It's going to be crazy. But absence does make the heart grow fonder. So hopefully we'll have more people tuning in, and you guys will want it even more when I get back. This has been a fantastic show. We've done it every year, 8 years running. The top 20 sports stars of Tampa Bay in top 25. Next year will be 9. The year after that will be 10. Incredible. And I'm proud of myself for being able to remember. And I took a piece of paper last year, so I know like where everybody was ranked every year. I'm taking pictures of these index cards so I know. And I also have the video here, so we'll be good. My guy, Eddie, thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate you all. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. I love you all. Again, I couldn't do this without you. I don't even want to sign off, man, because I just love talking to you guys. This weekend, what's going on this weekend? Manchester United, I'll be watching on Sunday morning. Bucks, Panthers. Good luck to the Bucks. Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. Let's see what happens in that one. That's going to be freaking crazy, man. This could be the end of the whole Jake Paul and boxing thing. This is not like, hey, I'm fighting a guy way bigger that's like 39 years old. You're talking about a guy that's like a heavyweight champion. This could be really, really bad for Jake Paul. And I know you might be one of those people that is like, oh, yeah, I don't support that. It's ruining the prestige of boxing. It's not about that here. This is a legitimate heavyweight contender right now. This could be really bad for Jake Paul. Like, I'm talking like one. You saw Anthony Joshua knock out Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou is actually a legit fighter. Like, he was a former heavyweight champion of the world in the UFC, and Anthony Joshua turned his lights out. It could be way worse for Jake Paul. I don't know. He's never been hit like this. Don't expect a long fight because I don't think it's going to happen. All right. I love you all. Thank you so much to everything. Again, thank you to the Sun and the Rowdies. God, I know no Sun and Rowdies players made the list this year. The Rowdies are making so many moves, so many different roster moves, man. The team looks so different. No Aaron Guillen, no Forrest Lasso, no Leo Fernandez, but it's a new age for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, no doubt about it. But I'll be there and I'll be supporting them. Shout out to Ryan Helfrich and everybody over with the Tampa Bay Rowdies, Jake Nutting, head coach Dom Cassiato. Can't wait to see the future there. The Tampa Bay Sun with Denise Schulte-Brown and Jordan Listro. And then, of course, USF. Rob Higgins and Derek Brooks and Ken Erickson and Mitch Hannes and Jose Fernandez and Michelle Woods-Baxter and Coach Brian Hodgson and Alex Golish and Brian Hartline and everybody that's been on the show this year. Thank you for all the love and all the support. UT, the incredible run with Joe Urso and Sammy and Jose and everybody. You guys are the best. And then the Rays, the Bucks, and then the Lightning, who are so near and dear to my heart. Thank you to everybody. John Cooper for making fun of me every freaking day in my shoes. Brian Briesman and Chris Kren and Stephen Buck and Erlinson and Cena and Deandra and everybody. It's just such a great time to be able to spend with those guys. All right, I'm done rambling. I'm done babbling. I love you all. Again, follow me on social media at @JRecher. I'll be around tweeting stuff during the holidays. But again, be good to each other. Tell your loved ones that you love them. And we'll be back in 2026 right here on the Jay Recher podcast.